Everybody, and welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I'm Kelly Hogan, and these are my favorite kind of videos to make. The kind of videos where I just ask, hey, would any of my group members like to share something today? Something that's happened due to carnivore, something you'd like to pass on. And then they surprise me. I don't even know what they're going to say. And that's my favorite. I love being surprised. So my first guest today is Natalie. Hey, Natalie, what's your story?
So I go back to 2013. I got married young, moved from the city out to a dairy farm, started being the dairy farmer's wife, had three babies in 3 years, built a new house, built a new dairy barn. And then by the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I started to have some depression. Moving into 2020 with COVID hitting, and then I got pregnant and I had an early miscarriage, and I was manic. I was so bad with my mental health. I'm already getting so nervous with this. I ended up being hospitalized for a couple months, put on a lot of medications, and the medications ended up just dulling me and making me go from, I was probably about 180 pounds before I was hospitalized in 2020. I ended up weighing myself at the highest. I think it was October 2023, and I was 338 pounds. Yeah, and just dull and numb and depressed and conked out on a lot of really strong medications. We had family pictures done, and when those photos came back, it was like a reality hit me in the face. I was just so embarrassed, so ashamed. And more than like I didn't care about myself. It was more for me at seeing those pictures, like I was embarrassed for my husband.
Oh,
My husband who never stopped making me feel beautiful and like loved and all the things, but he was incredible and just a rock and tried to and loved me and supported me through all of it. But okay, so I saw that 338 pounds on the scale, and yeah, it was the reality of where my health had gotten. So I had tried a bunch of recommendations from my doctor for the weight loss part, because it's like, okay, well, once you lose the weight, the mental health will come back. You'll be able to get off the couch and start moving again and be able to just do the things. I could not do anything mentally. I couldn't understand why I physically couldn't do anything, but it was in my head that I couldn't help out a lot around here. I didn't want to leave the house ever. I was just embarrassed. So I had tried things like 2 to 3 of those frozen low calorie meals a day. I tried Weight Watchers for 6 or 7 months, and I went up and down and was down 5 pounds after 7 months. I tried semaglutide for a while, felt miserable while I was semaglutide and eating healthy. I tried intermittent fasting for a while. My husband did it with me, and I ended up doing OMAD, one meal a day for a while. And at this point, I was still over 300 pounds and trying to truck around and do all the things and have one meal at the end of the day. And I was just
oh,
exhausted. I tried a program that a friend in town was doing called Metabolic Reset Program. And felt really effective because the first week I had lost 16 pounds and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But it was not fitting my lifestyle. It was like timed and measured, and this is what you can eat. And I could never eat with my family or at the right times, and I did not like the food at all. But anyways, I ended up the doctor putting me in the bariatric program, and then I was like, all right, I'm desperate.
yeah.
I need something. And once I was in that program and started doing the online training, I was like, no, I'm not. I know this to people that do it, but I was so desperate to not. I was so afraid of what it would do to me and my future fertility, my future health, things that I couldn't do or eat later on after having bariatric surgery. And so it was February 2024. I'd been researching a little bit. I had heard parents from school doing carnivore, and they were doing it for all sorts of different reasons. Most of them were not overweight. I just looked through my phone today and the screenshots I started taking around then, and there was an article, I forget which doctor it was, talking about a man with bipolar that cured himself and is off all his medications because of carnivore diet. So I was off and on for a few weeks here and there from February 2024 until April 15th. I fully committed of 2024. We had gone to an award ceremony for an award we won for the farm a few days before that, and I didn't want to get up on stage. I didn't want to. I was embarrassed. There was photos and all the things. And at this point, I was like 320 pounds still, and started carnivore the next, April 15th. So
There were people in the car line at school talking about carnivore. That
yeah,
that is so cool. And I wonder if it was Chris Palmer.
it
The
was. It was.
I've
Yes.
heard him talk about his patients and it sounded like him. So all of that got your wheels spinning. And
Yeah, and when I had started, I was nervous to tell my psychiatrist at the time too, but when I told my psychiatrist, she was like all in. She was fully supportive, and she actually was like, "Hey, have you heard of Dr. Georgia Eid?" And so I got Dr. Georgia Eid's book, and then so starting in or like fully committing in April, I was off, like slowly weaning off my medications and was just doing better and better with my health. And weight was dropping like crazy, but also I was able to wean off my meds. And then August 1st, 2024, I was completely done taking medications. And then by mid-September, I was back to like the old Natalie that everybody missed, including myself and my husband and my kids.
that's so awesome. Is your family so happy for you
Yeah.
and for them?
Yeah, I actually have roped at least three of them into carnivore in the last year. So
That's fantastic. Okay, so mental health improvements, the fatigue, I guess, is mostly gone.
yeah, yeah. A lot of it too was like just even with your coaching, it was learning all the things, right? Not just eating meat, but circadian rhythm, the getting your steps and the exercise, the everything, just all the tips to get me through. And our recent news regarding the carnivore is that we were able to get pregnant. So I'm expecting.
Oh, congratulations.
My youngest just turned 8, so it's been a long time.
I'm so happy for you. Okay, so mental benefits, fertility benefits, energy,
Yeah.
weight loss, I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah. So I went back down, but when I got pregnant, I was 180. So
Wow. So baby number 4 on the way, and
yeah.
now you're back to living your happy farm wife life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I love it. Life cannot be any better right now.
and
Yeah.
before we started recording, you had said that one reason you were willing to do this, even though you were very nervous, is because people keep asking and you'll have something to send them to say, hey, check it out. Here's the story. Natalie, I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you, and I'm grateful that you shared part of your life with us. And I'm happy that I get to see you every week also
Yeah.
and get to hear how little one is doing.
Yes. We are expecting a girl, so it'll be girl number 4.
What a lucky man you have with all
Yeah.
these lovely ladies.
We're lucky to have him though. He's the best. But yeah,
Awesome.
good girl dad.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Natalie.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have Christie. Hey, Christie.
Hi.
I know
Hi.
one thing about your story,
Mm,
and it was about migraines. So
That's it.
tell us more.
So, like most people I've heard on this carnivore journey, I've had a difficult relationship with food and my body my whole life. So that's the background to the story. And did extreme things. 2010, I did a bodybuilding boot camp, leptin trial where I was injecting leptin into me. Um, and had results, but they didn't stick. And my husband and I then migrated. So I'm originally from South Africa, but now live in Australia. And the migration was amazing, but of course that consumes your whole life. And I couldn't carry on with my crazy intense exercise program, and the weight started stacking back. But I look back on this journey, and as hard as it's been, every challenge, God has revealed something new to me. So when I realized, oh, I'm back in the slump again, and my eating's out of control, I just really prayed and said, "Help me." And the the shift in focus I can only call divine intervention. I stopped worrying about my body. I stopped worrying about my diet and started focusing on health. I stopped the crazy gym because gym was not good for my mental health. It was a comparison game and a numbers game, and it was all about control. I just started doing long walks, enjoying being outdoors, and starting to regain mental health. But my weight just kept stacking up. The other aspect to this is I had grown up my whole life with my mother struggling with terrible hormonal migraines that were debilitating. And I was terrified that was going to be my life when I hit a certain age. And sure enough, 35, I'd always had bad menstrual cycle, bad pain, headaches. But at 35, things started really escalating. And I didn't know what to do again out of desperation. I even went on hormone replacement therapy, which was crazy for a 35-year-old. And again, just made it actually worse. I got some relief, but then it just threw out my whole hormonal cycle. So out of desperation, I started exploring. And I find it so interesting when people talk about keto, because my perspective on keto and my definition of keto seems to be very different to everybody else's, because by God's grace, I found Dr. Boss. All I fixated on was measuring my ketones. I cut out carbs. That was fairly easy for me. I've always loved meat and fat. I could not believe I had permission to eat as much fat. And although previously I'd been terrified of cholesterol, Dr. Boz convinced me. I read a book any which way you can. And I just bought the sticks and just started measuring. And I can tell you what a relief to get to the point where there was only one thing I was measuring and worrying about was get those ketones, baby. And I was just, again, focused on health and exercise, as in the whole package of walking. Walking for me was the best health and exercise kick for my mental health. But the hormonal headaches were bad. I got to, in 2018, I was my heaviest. We work in kgs, so I was 103. I had the most terrible plantar fasciitis. I could hardly move in the mornings. And I was spending 2 to 5 days a month in bed. It was affecting work. But I just, again, because of this divine intervention, I felt confident I was going to get through if I just did the things. And slowly it started working. The weight just flew off. The headaches started reducing. I still have headaches, so I won't say I'm completely cured, but they're not debilitating. I can manage them. And it's amazing to me now, if I have carbs, how amazingly different the inflammation is. But it wasn't just the headache, the hormonal migraines that changed. The plantar fasciitis went away, the mental clarity, the brain fog, the food cravings, the food noise. I did not appreciate the food noise until it was gone. I used to spend 2 hours in the morning dealing with that inner critic shouting at me about how bad I was, and on the flip side, all the foods I should be craving. And to be free of that's amazing. I eat just meat, but I'm a happy girl at 80% fat. Basically, my meat is a vehicle for, as Dr. Boss says, for getting the fat in.
Yes.
And if I don't eat that amount of fat, I feel really awful. I've done your TDEE calculator. And
how long have you been in the group, did you say?
Oh, this is my first time. So I loved the first session.
Oh, good.
And listening to Sherry talk about a tribe. I haven't really had a tribe. So, I've created some in supporting people, but I haven't really, I've really just lived off watching you and Steak and Butter Girl and Dr. Boz, but it feels like I found a tribe. So that's great.
It is great. Well, so you have class tomorrow.
Yep. At the moment, embracing the sardine fast. I'm on day 3 of a sardine fast, and see what that will do for me. But the hormonal headaches are still manageable, and it's not migraines. The migraines were debilitating. Days in bed, darkness, can't think. I actually would lose the ability to talk. I couldn't find words, which terrified me. Yeah. And you think, what is going on with my brain if I can't find the words? And I would feel like my head and brain were disconnected. So if I moved my head, my brain was moving in the opposite. It was a very horrible feeling. So I'm very glad that's no longer my life. And it's been amazing to be able to share that with people and see the changes in their lives, including my sister, who's following 6 years behind me and also doesn't want to have the same experience as my mom. So she's also embracing keto and cold plunging. And we're grateful we found that, that answer by the grace
Right.
of God.
Yes, I'm so grateful too. So I've never had a migraine. I've just had a headache occasionally in my life. And I think I mentioned this last weekend, but my brother, I watched him deal with migraines. Well, similar to what you're describing, the room had to be dark. He couldn't talk to anyone. He would be in bed for hours, if not a day or
Mm.
two. Debilitating is the word, right? What
Yeah,
you can't do anything. And
yeah,
now I'm so thrilled that you're not having those. Now you're just having a regular old headache like the rest of us once in a while, right?
yeah,
Okay, we can
exactly.
deal with the
I can
headache.
live with that.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
handle
yeah,
that. Okay,
yeah.
and the plantar fasciitis, you're walking without pain.
That's right.
Wonderful. Well, I hope
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who deal with migraines and plantar fasciitis.
Mm.
A lot of people
Yeah,
who probably have no idea that it has to do with what would eating meat do for that anyway, right?
yeah,
Well, a lot, because you're going to make some ketones and get your glucose down.
exactly. And the fat, it was Dr. Boz that really helped me switch that mindset around fat. I had cut fat out
Mm,
despite loving it. I always felt guilty eating
yeah.
fat. I was the kid that only wanted to eat the chicken skin. And I would cut the fat off my food, and anybody who cut and eat just that. And anybody who cut the fat off to throw it away, that's what I wanted to eat. But I always felt guilty.
Right.
Now I realize that was my hormones crying out for, and I just can't believe how keto carnivore and eating fat has improved my hormones.
Awesome. My hormones are
Yeah.
loving the fat right now, too.
Yeah.
There are many days where I'm eating upwards of 80% calories from fat. In general,
Yeah.
I'd recommend that people keep fat between 60 and 80% as a carnivore. But
Yeah.
when a person's body is just crying for it, and I don't know why mine is right now. It's been almost 2 years. I am 46, but not in perimenopause yet. But my hormones are like all the fat, all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that, Christy.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story today. So happy for you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in the group.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
My third and last guest today is Aaliyah. And Aaliyah, you've raised your hand in class and shared a few things before, but I have never just gotten your story. So what brought you here? How's it going?
Okay. Hi, I'm Aaliyah. I'm 16. Wow, crazy, right? So I'll just start my story. When I was a toddler, I started having chronic migraines, and it wasn't till the time that I was anywhere from 6 to 10. I can't exactly remember that. I went to a specialist and actually got diagnosed. I was creeping up in weight as a kid. By the time I was 14, I weighed about 230, which is a lot. I'm short. I was like 5 foot. Then I'm 5'2" now. That's a lot of weight for my little body. And I discovered a calorie deficit. Oh my gosh, this amazing thing that everybody loves so much, right? And I was all in for that, right? Eating all the fiber foods that were supposed to make you feel good, like flax seeds. And after doing that for so long and eating all these high carb foods, I thought fat was the enemy here. I started having hormonal issues. And one of the big ones was one day, randomly woke up and I had dire, kill me now, Jesus, come rapture me up, endometriosis symptoms. And if you don't know what that is, that's just almost close to labor pain. Some women say it's worse. Some women say it's close. And it's awful. It's excruciating. And yeah, there's a lot of symptoms that go in with that. And I feel like I had all of them attack me at once. It was just one day, this is my life now. And then I was at school and I started passing out in classrooms, not from endometriosis, but I would go to lunch and carb food warning. I would eat Kraft mac and cheese, the Easy Mac, the little tiny containers, right? Just one of those. That was all I would eat. And then I would pass out after lunch in a classroom. I would black out. I would wake up or, I don't know, come to my brain again and be like, what just happened? I don't remember anything from this whole class period. So I went to the gynecologist for my endometriosis stuff, and they said, They did a little bit of testing. The worst thing was they did an ultrasound and they couldn't find anything, and they knew my family history. So they were like, okay, we're pretty sure you have endometriosis and PCOS. Here's birth control. Going in, I already knew that that's what they were going to do. So I was like almost at a loss for hope because I didn't want to take this. I'd heard so much bad about birth control and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So that's when I started researching and I found carnivore. It started off like paleo, like the complete opposite, like Mediterranean diet, like no meat, you know? And then my endo just kept getting worse. So when I came across carnivore, it was in May of 2024. And it was like that first month, it was completely different. I had 0 symptoms that first month. And it was crazy because I wasn't a strict carnivore. Like there were some things that I didn't know I couldn't have, like 0 sugar coffee creamer that had seed oils in it. Right. And even then, I was still having no symptoms. I'm just really grateful that I found carnivore because imagine, when I get to 30 or 40, if I hadn't have found this, like how miserable I would be. And the reason why I just share my story so much and I talk about this so much is because I was always told by adults who were sick or just had creaky joints that your teenage years are your best years and it only gets worse from here, right?
Right.
And when you're already so sick, you can't get out of bed, you have chronic migraines, this is like life. How much worse can it get from here, right? Like, I understand why people get suicidal. Like, I'm sure I would have came to that point at some point in my life. That's why I'm so happy that I found this. And now I've just kind of been figuring things out. Like I recently did a 4-day egg fast and I was eating 80 to 90% fat the whole time. And I ate 2,500 calories worth of eggs. So it's not like I'm not eating. I'm eating good. And I had so much energy. And the other day I got thrown off a horse at like 20, 30 miles an hour. And I'm fine. I'm a little bit sore, but I'm fine. And I went out and played golf today. My back's a little bit achy. Maybe I shouldn't have stressed it out so much, but I'm fine. And I have that teenage resilience now, right? Like I was not used to that. And Kelly, the reason why I love your group so much was because before I found carnivore and when I was stuck in this, unhealthy cycle, I was also looking for validation from the world, from guys, from girls, from social media. And your group kind of reins me back in, like bring the focus to God, right? And that's what I really need. I don't need to be looking for validation through social media. Like, what did Sean Baker comment on my YouTube video? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you really help humble me and in the best way possible. And you bring me back to where my priorities need to be, right? Carnivore, God, then carnivore, and then, walking and being healthy and helping others and not just vain reasons. And that's why I love your group so much. And this is my 3rd time in your group. And I just want to thank you for everything you've done. And that's all that I have to say.
I love you so much, Aaliyah. Oh my gosh. I am so proud of you. I bet every single person watching this video, especially every mama out there, is just heart about to bust with just how happy we are that you are sharing this. I think at age 16, you are surely the youngest guest I've ever had. I'm just so thrilled. Endometriosis, I have not had it, but I have heard the same thing that you have, that the pain is like repeatedly having labor pains that just won't go away. And then month after month, you're just dealing with it. Plus the migraines. Mm-hmm. Well, I bet people are going to really want to reach out to you, Aaliyah. I hope you can bring some young folks to carnivore because you've been in the groups. There are mostly people around my age or older. And I know you've said before, are there any younger folks here? And I know that the response that you got was a lot of people saying, gosh, I wish I had found carnivore when I was younger. And I have children who are trying carnivore and teenagers who I want to try carnivore. And we're all just like little mama hens to you because we're so proud of you. I'm thrilled. So anything you would like to say if there is someone watching this video right now?
I would just say, even if you try carnivore and you don't get the results you want, I just figured out I have lipedema. And this is like, a big thing for me. It's really emotionally, racking on my brain. And I'm starting to realize, well, maybe I won't be 110, 130 pounds, but I'm thriving. I'm healthy. I can live my life. I can go play golf. I can go ride horses and I can have friends. And I can just be a joyful, energetic human.
Yes.
And I can help people. And right, you said Leah Hope Health says all the time that people are like, you're ugly or whatever. And like, well, at least they didn't call me mean. And that's what I've really gotten from carnivore is not just the physical, weight loss. It's I feel good. I can be nice to people. I'm not grumpy all the time. And that's what our generation needs.
Yes. Yes. And for lipedema, that is a tough diagnosis, but carnivore is one of the only things that people have found to move the needle. One of my very good friends, Linda Salant, has lipedema, and she is doing really well with it. She's carnivore now, maybe 11 years. I mean, a long time. And she does great. And just like you, she spends her days eating meat, spreading joy, being kind. Yeah, you mentioned Leah Hope. I will link to her in the video description box. But Leah Hope has said when people are rude to her online and make comments about, well, you're still overweight, and why are you still so any of that hatefulness? She says, I would rather be still the weight that I am right now. And I think she looks fantastic, as do you. But she says, I would rather look like me right now than ever have a hateful heart. Amen. Right?
Right.
So,
Holly, is it Leah Hope that you said it's not just losing weight, it's the gaining health. Health,
yes.
not losing weight. Is that
She
Leah
said,
Hope?
that's her. She says it used to be all I wanted was a smaller body, but then I decided I really wanted a bigger life because her body was keeping her from living life. And now she's like, now I'm living a big life. And it's just all about that focus on actual health and living better. Yeah, I love her.
And it's such an amazing thing to be free of fixating on the weight.
Yes.
And actually feel the benefit of a brain that works and energy and enjoyment and being able to embrace discomfort, not be terrified of it or not live with pain. I didn't fully appreciate that until I let go of obsessing about the weight and embrace the health. And I can totally agree with that. Gaining health is way better.
Folks, if you are watching right now and you are either trying to do carnivore, but you feel very alone and have no idea what you're doing, we all get that. We all started alone. Or maybe you just haven't started yet because it feels too overwhelming and addiction is hard. And breaking up with something that has been your one source of comfort your whole life feels like you're letting go of your favorite lovey. We've all been there too. If you need help or would like to talk to people like us, we're here. And I hope you'll reach out. So thank you all for sharing and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye, everybody. See y'all in class. Bye. And that's a wrap, babies. My gracious. Well, weren't you three just a total delight? Aaliyah, thank you for sharing your story. Natalie, Christie, I hope to heavens a lot of people see this and are able to get help.
Natalie, I'm a mess, man. You were nervous if I cry.
Yeah.
The whole way through, I got tears pouring down my face. That is the most precious story.